Hello YouTube, this is CyberKnight8610. I have, first off, I have a few shoutouts to give. First one is for Yugioh Collector. He has two X's in the front and the back of the username. And swordsmanJRR. He didn't really ask for a shoutout. I went ahead and gave him one. He's having a hard time getting subscribers, so be sure to check out his channel and give him some subscribers. He could really use some. Let's try to get him to at least 100. It'd be really cool to help him out like that. And also, AsianHomeVideos, awesome channel, has over 1,000 subs, and I think makes a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I don't know, I've just heard about it, actually, and they're going to give me a shout out back. So yeah, if anyone wants a shout out, just ask me, and you just give me a shout out, and I will give you one. Kind of straighten that up a little. I thought I would go ahead and do a discussion on Infernities. I'm probably going to be uploading this on Monday because I'm going to get my senior pictures done Monday, although I've already graduated and never got my senior pictures done. So I'll be uploading these while I'm suffering and having to take pictures, so yay. Very interesting monsters. You can actually use the joke now, look ma, no hands. Yes, I know, I had to say that joke. It's about as bad as the don't get mad, get glad for the Gladiator Beast joke. But they're very interesting monsters. A lot of people think of, when you first hear about the type, it's a disadvantage. You know, you don't have a hand. You know, a handless combo is what they called it in the anime. And, you know, you kind of think that's true, but it's really not. It reminds me sort of how Light Swords. I was kind of thinking when Light Swords first came out, well, they'd be a disadvantage. You know, you run out of the cards in your deck, you're going to lose. But it actually became their biggest advantage, which is the same with these, really. I'm going to talk about a few little things, different types of setups right now. These are the only Infernities we have in the game right now, because we don't have Shining Darkness yet, which comes out, I think, May 5th is when it's actually going to be out, and like sneak previews is May 1st, if I'm not mistaken. We have the game promos. Archfiend is going to get reprinted in the Gold Series, of course. He's been confirmed, which is pretty good. He's probably the better one we have right now. Guardian's pretty awesome little card, and Dwarf is probably one of the worst ones, but it's alright. Necromancer, I think, has a draw engine and stuff around it. A lot of people thought it was going to get limited and all this. And Infernity Beast, I don't know if we'll see much of it being used, but I like it. I think it's cool. I like the art and all of it. But yeah, those are the only ones we have at the moment. I've heard of people already talking about, like, a Dark World variant of the deck. You know, using the Swarm engine of the Dark Worlds with, you know, the Infernity engine, since the Infernities are going to be able to synchro summon fast and have a lot of support in the next set. It's kind of ridiculous, really. Probably going to be our next Shonen Jump winning deck. A lot of people are saying, I'm kind of hoping it won't happen, but that might be wishful thinking of it not happening. Very interesting, though, I'm saying too much. Mainly, you just want to thin out your hand. I've already kind of thought of a simple combo already. I think it was used in the anime. There's a lot of different combos I'm sure people are thinking about already for the deck. Is Full Salvo. This card, after the activation of this card, I'm sorry, I'm all tongue-tied lately. Send your entire hand to the graveyard, inflict 200 damage to your opponent's life points for each card you sent to the graveyard by this effect. So you get rid of your whole hand. Very easy, and then you can start activating the abilities. And of course, with me coming up with a way to help Infernities, I've also come up with a way to hurt them. It's not the best strategy. I kind of thought it was alright. I thought about it last night, you know, just kind of laying in bed thinking about different strategies and stuff. And here's a just simple strategy that will just about work with any deck, is Compulsory Evacuation Device. You can send a card back to your opponent's hand, and then all their effects go down, you know, with Infernities. So it could prove to really be good. I guess it's sideable. It's already a card that some people could actually deck anyway, because it's not really aimed only at Infernities, so I think that's kind of the best part about the card. So it's pretty interesting, especially fun to bring back, you know, just send back that synchro monster your opponent worked so hard to get out, using that card even too. So it has more uses than just against Infernities, but I thought it would be a really kind of fun trick to use against those Infernity users, especially since everyone's going to be spending so much money on this deck, just like Light Swords. It's going to be evil, I'm telling you. But they're just really interesting type of cards. I'm thinking about making a deck around them. They have, I think, some dual terminal exclusives coming out called Fabled, and I forgot what their Japanese name is, but they're supposed to work with Dark Worlds as well, and I think a lot of people are going to try to use those with the Infernities. I think Japan is already using them. I forgot what it's like Demon Beast or something like that in Japan, so we had to change the name, of course, and ruin it. But, yeah, if we get those like in a dual terminal here and an arsenal here, that's going to be pretty bad as well for us. They're very interesting. They do remind me of like light swords, like I said, and things like that, because they're just so, like I said, it's such a weird thing. You know, you would think you'd be at such a disadvantage, but you're not. That's kind of one of the main things that, you know, just kind of made me think about. The strength thing is they all have kind of broken abilities whenever you have no hand. You know, you don't have any cards in your hand, then you have some really mean monsters. I mean, just about all of them have like a broken ability. It's sort of, that in some ways reminds me of like Arcana Forces. They all had a broken ability, but you had to flip for it. So, you know, they all kind of have that power there. Wish Arcana Forces could have been better. Those would have been fun. Speaking of, let's see about some disadvantages. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. I'm going through a bunch of papers in my hands. Weaknesses. You just want to get the cards back into their hand. Like I was saying, you could use Compulsory Evacuation Device, Macros, Cosmos, Dimensional Fissure, and all those, you know, move your opponent's cards from play. Royal Oppression, everyone uses that, I think, just about against any deck, especially like Blackwings and stuff. Skill Drain, that's an old favorite. Very good card. That would be really funny to use against them after they've worked so hard to thin out their hand, and then you do that. And that's kind of the greatest way to defeat Infernities too, when I really think about it. Because if you think about Infernities, all of them are weak. You know, their attack points, defense, and Necromancer, you know, has pretty good defense, but just about all of them, even their new Synchro Monsters coming, only has like 2,300 attack. So if you can get their ability stopped with like a skill drain deck, you can win, because you can usually run over them then with your stronger monsters. So that might be the best strategy to actually take them down when I think about it. So yeah, what do you guys think? Leave in the comments what you think about Infernities, what they'll do. Do you think they'll win? Do you think they'll just be, you know, they'll lose and everyone was wrong? Do you have any good combos you plan to use with them, or do you plan to make a deck of them yourself? If you want, even make a video and leave it as a video response. I'd like to see different videos on this kind of subject. And like I said, if even if you are new to the game or whatever, just put your opinions on this stuff. I like to hear everyone's opinion, and yeah, that's basically it. Remember, help me out. I need, I think, 50 more subscribers, then I'll hit 800, and then I will start the contest. I don't know what the contest is going to be about yet, but I've already kind of got the prizes in my head. Very good prizes, you know, so it's going to be some pretty cool stuff. I think even, like, third prize is going to be, like, at least a $10 item, something like that. So it's going to be good prizes. You know, I'm telling you that 100% that that's going to happen. Just got to think about what the contest will be. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, just leave a comment, tell me what you think. Please subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, and I'll continue to make cool videos. Hopefully cool. Alright, bye YouTube.